Good.
Welcome back from the break. All right. We, since these characters were created under an older rule set, we are now updating to the new into the new rule set, and I've asked the players to do two things. They have gained two bonds, and if they have any experience points they want to spend, they can also spend it on other things, like vitality or resistance or abilities or advantages or well, whatever. It's all up to be able to get purchase. So, Aaron, taking a look at your character, what did you take a look at for your bonds?
Yeah, so Mr. Crystal, thinking about where he is and sort of who he knows, he's got Murph already as one bond, as a follower. I think that's great. That fits nicely. I was really thinking about the princess that we met as a potential romantic bond,
Hmm.
the one with the squid face.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
that's something I hope that happens more organically. So maybe do that in the future. But the first bond obviously had to be with Gareth Carr because we've got the best friends forever fedoras,
Yes.
which uh, I mean that's just obviously that's a bond. That's a bond.
Yeah.
Two fellas wearing matching shark skin fedoras. That's no one's going to question that they must be close. And then Ludwika, we've come a long way from some early mistakes, some flubs that Mr. Crystal made, and he's working on that. So he feels connected to Ludwika, and both Gareth and Ludwika are making him better and understanding the world and himself. Um, the experience points, I'm realizing wits are a huge soft spot for Mr. Crystal. So I'm going to put five of my XP into buying a resistance point for wits. I'm starting to sort of pick up on cues. I'm not really higher on wits, but sort of I'm more resilient there. And vigor, I think that's a place where he's going to actively work to build his strength and resistance in his vigor space for himself, given that he's usually up at the front line with in tough spots. So I'm going to just buy those two resistance points.
Perfect. I love it. Now, originally, it's something you had talked about in the bonds is that you were wondering about adding the rival of Alated. Ultimately, you decided not to do that. Could you explain why, like, what your thought process was there?
Yeah, trying to figure out the pull between Alatet being part of my untold story and that seeming to be something that it seems like it should be a really big deal. Like the reappearance of her into anything Mr. Crystal does is going to be pretty shattering, and so or it's going to be trouble. And so the thought of being able to sort of call that person in for unity point, it feels like I'd be cashing. I don't know. It felt like I was cashing in for. I don't know why. I don't think that's quite the right way to think about it. But I wouldn't want. I want her appearance to be a pretty big shake for him, not just a thing that kind of happens.
Sure.
So I think she's in my mind too high level rival to put in the bond space.
Sure.
That I wouldn't want to be able to pull a unity point just by yanking her in. I want it to be pretty catastrophic when she shows up.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Eric, what direction did you go with Gareth Carr?
I also took a covenant bond. I did not pick Mr. Crystal, though. I picked Ludwika uh, because she is the one who knows that I am AI. And I think that is a bond that he very much wants to keep and to keep secret. And so, yeah, that made the most sense.
Sure.
Also took a guild bond with the troubadours and their spy network to be able to get spy information.
Yep.
He likes information.
Sounds good. And because your character has had some couple rocky adventures, looking at the scars and traits, yeah, not as many experience points, but you are rich in life. Um, all right,
Just
uh,
like my real life. That's great.
right, Rachel. We're saving Rachel for last, because she had a little bit more experience points than some other folks, so just 'cause I hadn't spent any yet, really. Except for
And
the
stockpiling
teleportation.
so I
Yeah.
can do cool things.
Yep. So first,
But
let's
that
start.
meant there were bigger decisions to be made.
So let's start with your bond. What bonds did you end up taking?
I have a bond with Mr. Crystal. We have worked hard to, like he said, overcome some earlier mishaps or earlier missteps, I guess is the word, to manage to find our way as a team. And then I also took Sapphire Crux, who is somebody who we were once hired to save because he had like an assassination or yeah, like a hit on his head. Right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, the parents hired you
Yeah.
to.
His parents hired us to get him safely home, basically.
Yep.
And then another time he hired us himself to help him get out of a marriage he didn't want to be, like an arranged marriage he wanted to
Yes.
avoid. And so we added a patron option for bonds, which will help with purchasing important items. As for my XP, I have a
Oh,
couple
okay.
questions that came up as the others were talking. So I
Perfect.
have enough that it lets me take an advantage, and still have plenty left over. So we'll see what I decide to do about that. But um, just to clarify, Jared, is
Yes.
there? I'm looking at plasma, vampire, and psychic leech. I assume those now just mean vitality because you have health and honor in there still.
Correct. So they're just going to change into probably just vampire
Okay.
or some combination of it. Yeah, it's just for your.
One thing that, but one is vigor mysticism, one is wits panache.
Yes.
So they could still be different things. They're just
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're both just for vitality.
either way, you're gaining vitality,
Yeah.
not because I'm looking at the wits panache one. So for anybody watching, psychic leech lets you gain vitality equal to the vitality of an adversary you just beat using wits or panache. Which sounds fun, but I don't really remember how much I fight with this character. So we'll see. Um, it's either that or there's some that offer rerolls for different skills that I'm contemplating. But I need to pick. So I think I feel like psychic leech feels right up a bacteria creature's alley. I can just like leech vitality off of people that I defeat. That seems about right. So I
Ah.
have a plasma vampire now.
All right.
No,
So
a psychic leech. Sorry. I'm a
psychic
psychic
leech,
leech.
psychic leech in teleporter. Those are your things that you can do outside of what you normally could start off with. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, 100%. Love it. I do like the more we play as character, just the weirder they get, and that's what I want. I like that. I think that's fun. I think the bonds are super interesting. I think I really like the way that's going to be working for our system. All right. So then for tonight, what I'd like to do is I'd like to get through two scenes, but we may not make it that far. We may just get through one scene. Okay. So give me one moment. Okay. For those of you who may not know, we are going to try and attempt to play Will's Adventure for the first time. Dun, 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 dun. I have it. I've got some notes written down, ready to go. And yeah. Do you guys need to get any drinks before we start, or yeah? All right, perfect. Yeah, go ahead. We'll just hang out. I can cut this later. Are you as excited to be with your old characters again?
Yeah, I mean, I think that. I mean, Gareth is just going to be different now because, like, with some major revelations.
Yeah. I still can't get over how each of you in a what is billed as like a big swashbuckling game, each one of you took super timid traits to play off. Like, I'm guarded. Ah, I'm naive. I like. So yeah, that's
So
what when I think of the Three Musketeers, that's what I think of right away.
we're just like the emo version of the Three Musketeers. That's all. Same thing though.
Yeah, pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna try and do at least one scene, and then depending how far we make it in the night, after that, I might just want to hang out. I've got some questions. I might need some sounding boards, honestly, for some things that I'm working on that I'm really close to getting knocked out. Oh, cat, come on now. Okay, let's see if I can remember how to do role playing again. The name of the escapade slash adventure is Haven's Price. Pyros, an unstable volcanic moon, has erupted catastrophically, forcing the evacuation of its residents, the entire Free City state of New Cinder. They have fled to orbital stations nearby, straining their resources, which are growing more scarce by the day. The neighboring Free City state of Aureolus possesses the wealth and space to accommodate them. But the isolationist voices among the Royalist ruling council have refused all appeals for aid. Time is running out as the former residents of New Cinder grow more desperate. You have been hired by director Mira Kestrel. She has spent decades managing refugee crises across System Prime and beyond as head of the Displaced Persons Coalition. Her bright yellow eyes burned determination from her withered Harven face. Sleepless nights have worn on her appearance as she is exhausted official channels trying to deal with the Pyros crisis. She now turns to hiring a covenant as her last hope. This is a story prompt. What personal connection does director Kestrel have to the New Cinder refugees that makes this mission so important for her?
Uh, Before New Cinder, many of these people were in another zone that was targeted to have a big problem, climate problem, and so she relocated them to New Cinder, and now New Cinder has a problem that she didn't see coming, and now she really wants to. It's all people she already told them they were safe, and now they're gonna die if she can't move them again.
So it's like second generation refugees.
Yeah. That could be many generations. It's been well, it depends how old. I guess Harvin could be kind of old, uh, but yes, she moved them. Those people there thinking they'd be safe, and now maybe not.
Sure, we'll call it like fourth generation refugees. Okay. Yeah, that would be devastating. Your mission is to secure the agreements of the Royalist ruling council to accept and house the new Cinder refugees. The council consists of 7 members representing different aspects of Orelos society: commerce, culture, security, agriculture, manufacturing, research, in the enigmatic position of harmony. Pardon me. As duly appointed agents of the Displaced Persons Coalition, the Covenant will be granted diplomatic passages to Orlus, but inside they must navigate one of the most insular in particular societies of the System Prime. Orelos is a lush garden world of golden spires and perfectly manicured landscapes where every citizen is garbed as though attending a perpetual gala. Reputation is currency, and a single social faux pas can destroy years long relationships. Before you embark upon this mission, how would you like to spend your one free action before you go? unofficially called gird your sword actions, but might change. Like, what's your pre-adventure action where they're always a difficulty 9, and it can be whatever check you want to do to try and get it. What we're trying to do here is just to um, jumpstart the adventure a little bit. Um, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to put some stuff in here.
What are you two thinking? Should we do some inquiry kind of lore kind of stuff?
I was
I'm trying to
gonna.
figure out what I could do. Yeah, I'm not good at those things though.
Oh.
I love.
Do
Hey,
that.
do you guys think we should do this? Yes, we should. But I'm not going to do.
I'm totally open to what I can do. Yeah, maybe I could like my charm. I berating them is not going to be productive as a pre-activity. Oh yeah, I have to figure something out here.
Or like an explorer, like to like know where we're going. I don't really know that would make sense. I was thinking just, I mean, y'all can say if there's a better idea. I was gonna see if like an inquiry check would let me know which of these like 7. There's like essentially, make sure I'm understanding this correctly. 7 people we have to persuade, or 7 like positions that we have to like say agriculturally. This would be helpful. This way, this is how the refugees can help this area. I want to do like an inquiry to see who's going to be like the hardest to convince. Like, is one of them particularly difficult to persuade? But if
Okay.
somebody has a better idea, that's fine.
I think that sounds great. You should do that.
Okay.
But for Mr. Crystal,
I think I am going to do like a lore cultures sort of check, just a specific faux pas, so we don't commit the same sort of faux pas and be completely, not taken seriously from the beginnings. Whatever we need to know to be cool.
Mr. Crystal is going to attempt to polish up his dancing in case there are specific dances that are used. So I'd like to use my dancing skill to try to prep in case, God forbid, dancing become an option. It went well for me on the other spaceship, so actually it went terribly, but we gotta fix that.
Perfect. In the notes there, I put the 7 council members. Now, some of them you're not going to get access to. So, if I remember this correctly, Mr. Crystal is going to practice dancing. Gareth Carr is going to try and look up faux pas. Ludwika wants to see if there's anyone that is reported as being very outspoken so far.
or can I make it broader than that? I mean, I'm happy to make it that specific, or just be like, I would like to learn about each of these people that are on this council.
You can pick one person.
Okay. Then I
And,
want to find the one who's going to be hardest to persuade.
well, I don't know. I think you're just going to have to pick one because you haven't met these people yet.
Oh, I thought you were just saying I could find like the one who's been the most outspoken or whatever.
I mean, I can try. All right. All right. So that's what we're going to look
No, that's
for.
okay. I can pick one. Or is there like a different check I could do that would be more like I want to find any like.
So yeah, I guess that's fine. If you want to pick the one that's going to be the most hard line against you, that's fine. You can do a check on anyone except for Echo, because Echo is the one
Okay.
with the most enigmatic, shrouded past. There just is not much
Sure.
known about Echo. Everyone else has a fairly traditional background. So you want to look for the person that's going to be most outspoken. Okay, perfect. Let's go from least impactful to most impactful. Mr. Crystal, that's what you want to do with your free turn is learn how to dance, which I'm fine with.
For the cultures of this society, right? Like if I'm not going to be talking because I guarantee I'm going to screw that up. So like if there's the chance for dance, I want to at least be prepared for that.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So, for those watching at home, I get a tension point. For this playtest session, 6s are going to mean they get a saga point. Because we're just trying to streamline and I think this is probably what we're just going to end up doing. But it's also going to give them a +1 towards their Untold Story tracker. Right. So the default number is number 9. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you the fleet of foot. So you may get one reroll basically for anything that involves dancing for this adventure. All right.
I feel good about that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Gareth Carr, you are trying to figure out what is going to save you from like um, faux pas, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
give me some sort of culture. How are you going to be doing that?
That's a fine question. I would just do it. I mean, I could do it with the computers. I could do it just for, I don't know. That's gonna be the same anyway. I'd probably use computers at this point just to look it up and like see what I can find.
Okay, so getting into the lace, 9. Remember, the lace can hurt you
Sure.
if you fail.
Got a
Mhm.
9.
But you're good. Okay, the you think the big part of it is actually, you tell me. This is gonna be part of the storytelling part. There's gonna be more story prompts that build their culture on here. So, yeah, based on what you know right now, what do you think is a good faux pas?
They're big on appearances. Um,
Yep, always dressed to go to a gala. Very much the idea of like intellectual discourse over anything. Like if anyone like is shown like flexing down their muscles, that's probably looked down upon, maybe. But that doesn't mean that the physical form cannot be appreciated.
sure. Um, yeah, I mean, just the fact they're more into like a battle of wits than they would ever be into like a battle of strength. That's a faux pas to do that.
What about it's like shaking hands, asking
Yeah.
about someone like what do they do? Like
Yeah.
wearing red. You
I think something
wear
like that sounds better.
wearing hats after a certain
No,
time.
I got my 9. I'm definitely not doing that. You us. Uh, um, when uh, you never shake hands when you meet, that is considered to be very boorish. Um, it is more proper to sort of namaste, put your hands together, but not touch theirs.
Okay. I like the idea that shaking hands is fine, but only after you've like if they're like family. Like that's the only
Yes,
time you can shake hands.
yes.
I like that.
Meeting somebody? No, 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 no.
Ew. No, no, no. Okay, perfect. All right. Ludwika. Just got to beat a 9. 9 or better. How are you doing it?
And I think I was between two skills. I'm thinking some kind of inquiry. Um, would it make more sense for it to be like a panache based thing to like understand this person better? Like, would that be like a panache thing, or do you think just wits to be able to like read reports and
I think both are great. I think both are great options.
in theory, essence would probably be okay too, right? To just like get a feel for this person through mystical means.
That feels more like you're reaching out into the void, you know.
Okay.
I don't. That might
I'm
be
gonna
too much.
go with an inquiry wits.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine.
I almost put the wrong kind of die.
Perfect. Wow, no ones, no sixes. All right, yeah, you did it. Um, so I'm going to skip to scene 3.
Wow.
Counselor Kyria Star Song. You just remember Star Song. She's a proud Iliath who believes that accepting refugees would destroy Orlos's unique culture. Of course, she is from a family of generation upon generation upon generation of people that probably founded Orlus. And the idea of more people coming to, basically not my backyard, right? And she's going to be your biggest, staunchest adversary when attempting to argue to keep them here.
Remind me of an Iliath.
Iliad is crystal.
Iliad. Yes, thank you. I'm
Yep.
back. So, yeah,
Yeah, Mr. Crystal.
yeah,
Except Mr.
thank you.
Crystal's like the opposite of what they normally look like.
Yeah.
He's like a bent nose, more wide than tall. Most Iliads are more like skinnier, taller, even though they're made of crystal, very ethereal, slow moving, um,
Graceful.
graceful. Yeah. All right. The Covenant arrives at the Grand Spaceport and is met by Protocol Officer Titania Vex. She is a career bureaucrat who has spent decades navigating high society, and her every action declares it. The Covenant is settled into a luxurious quarters at the Starlight Embassy and invited to attend the weekly Salon of Stars, an exclusive gathering where the city's elite discuss art, philosophy, and politics in the magnificent Crystal Conservatory. Here, okay, before we jump into the scene, you have a little bit of time in here to suit up. If you need to run out and purchase something, for those, I'm going to pull up the gear section. For those of you that are still in there, you see the cost on there. You are in a alliance area, okay? Which means they don't take jewels. They don't take money. However, what you do, it's bargaining based on your reputation. So, if you do like a command panache check or a wits charm check, and you beat that cost number, you can get that type of item. However, how much you miss it by, that's how much vitality you take because you've been shamed because you do not have the pull to get that item. So you have to pick out the item that you want before you roll. Does anyone wish to try and get something? Probably something that would aid probably their panache or their wits or something like that. Now, I do need to figure out how much um, resistance costs, and maybe I'll just do like a 10 for 1 resistance point. So like, and it can be for, whatever. This is all part of like you kind of describe it. I do have like a generic list of things, but like it would be like you'd be wearing armor if you want it for your vigor, right? Um, or a mentat helmet if it's for, whatever. So, does anyone wish to go out and purchase something before we suit up and jump into the first? No? Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
Mr. Crystal he has some problems with clothes, so he's gonna need some help with this. Yeah, he's gonna go out and try to get some.
Okay. In what would you like to purchase?
And so I basically pick a panache wits kind of check, and that determines what it is. Is that the right way to think about it?
So you pick out what you want, right? So the things you can afford is probably either 10 or 15, right? Um, unless you feel gutsy and want to
So
go for
I
like a
can call in
20.
a favor with Sapphire, and he might give us a little more money if you need it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Wait, so is this in the gear tab, right?
Correct. Yep, go into the
Okay.
gear. So then you choose. So a conflict focus would be like, okay, I want something um all right, to purchase. It's going to be either like a wits plus charm, right? Or like a panache plus command sort of deal.
Uh, yeah, I want something that'll help me with. I'm not good with these, so I want something that'll help me with social jabs. So panache duel.
Okay, so you want something panache dual, and do you want something that's like that gives you +2 dice towards it?
+1 would probably be enough.
+1. Okay, so you're only going for a
Yeah.
10. Okay.
Yep.
All right, then you have to do either a wits charm or a panache command. Now, if Ludwika pulls in her favor, if you guys work together on this, and I don't know if you're going to, um, but Sapphire Crux gets you a +5.
Wow. What's my target number on this one?
You're just going for a 10 right now. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. My give orders is pretty good. My panache command, so I'm
Yep.
just gonna take the roll. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're just looking to get a 10. All right. So right now you've got an 8. So you can either take 2 points of vitality damage because you're being like, oh, okay, and you don't get the item because you're getting like shoot out, or you can spend a saga point to keep another die, or you can say do some role playing and beg Ludwika to call in a favor from Sapphire Crux.
I don't want to have us burn that too early. I'll spend the saga point.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. All right, spend the saga point. Boom. So you have it. So now you have an item that gives you you have gear. So let's hop over to Mr. Crystal's gear. Um, so notice gear is on a different line now. I'm making it so you can only have 6 gear total because this is much more of like whatever you have is what you can carry, right? Type of society. So I'm just gonna say 6 items. What do we think does that? So it gives you a plus to your panache and duel.
So yeah, so it would help defend me particularly against social jabs, right? Hmm. What would be something? What do y'all think would be something that'd be really fashionable, where like all over the galaxy, people are like, "Wow, that's super nice."
It's like a status symbol of some sort, you know.
I think you need a cane, like a really cool cane with like a cool thing on the top.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and this is like a special like these are like hot right now. These canes, they're like yeah, the ultimate consumer. They're like TikTok cool right now. They're like super trendy, right? Anyone who tries is gonna be like, oh, but he's got one of those canes. That's amazing. All right, I love it. I love
I
it. A
want to figure
cane.
out what's on the cane that makes it so. Oh, I'm bumping things. What makes the cane so stylish? What is the thing on top? Sorry, I'm taking over the Oracle's job.
No. This is great. This is great. Like I said, we'll probably just end up doing one scene. So yeah, this is good. This is the pace of the game that I expect instead of trying to force all the playtesting that we've been doing. So yeah, since it's for like social jabs too, because it's for the offensive too as well as the defensive, right? I think maybe it is like a secret, like, society? Like, do you belong to it? No. Do other people know you belong to it? No. So, hey.
Nice. So either that or who's the guy that we created that's like the radio star who everyone loved? It was like Mr. Universe or something. I don't remember. He was based off Mr. Universe on in Serenity. What did we
Yeah.
name that guy?
Voice of the Cosmos.
Yeah, maybe it's like a limited edition Voice of the Cosmos cane with like his symbol, like his
Microphone.
space station symbol as the handle of it.
Perfect. Love it. All right, so that'll give you a +1 die during those types of conflicts. All right, so I think we've got a really good vision of what Mr. Crystal looks like. You got the fedora on, I assume. You've got the cane. If I remember correctly, a sash?
Yeah, well, it's one of Gareth Carr's old cummerbunds,
Right.
but I interpreted it as a sash, so I am wearing a cummerbund reel. It's really tight, and I've got my lucky bracelet on, so I am just a shit show. Yeah, but I've got the
Amazing.
cane. So.
But you have a cane. I love it. Ludwika, how did you suit up before going into this society?
Well, I don't often. I mean, aside from that time where I wore like the full like wig and big poofy dress, I usually just like don't bother with that kind of stuff. But I would like to let me look at that gear list again. Because I see that Counselor Star Song has so many scarves. Every time there's pictures of her, she's just like covered in scarves. And I can totally understand, knowing Mr. Crystal and how he feels about fashion, that is just like her thing. Like, she loves scarves. Like, he likes hats and apparently canes. I just learned this. But so I want to find a really nice scarf to potentially use in a bartering kind of situation with the counselor.
Sure. Yeah, if you just want to get a scarf, boom, you got it. You can have a
Okay,
scarf.
that's all I want. It doesn't need to have a
Okay.
special skill. I just want to have a
Yep.
scarf that I think would appeal. And I will even ask Mr. Crystal, like, what do you think of the scarf? If he's like, I don't know, or if he's like, ooh, that's a nice color.
Yeah, he'd be all about the
No
color.
context. I don't tell him why I'm asking about the scarf. He's like shopping for a cane, and I'm just like, hey, Mr. Crystal, how's this look?
And you can hold up like a bath mat as long as the color was amazing. He'd be all on board. Yeah, yeah, he's all about the color. I love that.
Gareth Carr, if I remember correctly, you are the more suave. This is your type of atmosphere to move around in.
It was. Um,
Was.
with a little bit of a massive existential crisis that he's been dealing with. Uh, Gareth Carr used to have long black hair that like covered one eye. He's completely shaved his head. Um,
Oh,
he has just a long white robe over a white tunic. Sort of like he looks like a negative universe Nosferatu now, right? It's like you can just see all of his ears now. Uh, and so what he used to like sort of want to be like a James Bond, now he's more of like a Gandalf is what like where he wants his where he's centering his energies and things. He's not trying to be um, flashy so much. He's just a little bit different. So
is
mm,
he covered in pictograms?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We've talked about other Harven that were.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like tattoos of like what that tells their life story.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever the like class to be able to do that. Um. So no, He wouldn't have any of those.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. You all look fantastic. You make your way towards the magnificent Crystal Conservatory. Here, the Covenant encounters the first 3 council members. You meet Counselor Marcus Sterling, Commerce. He seems to be a jovial humanish who masks sharp business acumen with humor. You meet Counselor Cirrus, Research, an intense Zooey whose fuzzy features betray little emotion. And Counselor Dyra, Security, a stern-looking Gortu whose rocky protrusions resemble polished onyx. The counselors each express concerns about the refugees. They see you enter into the conservatory. They all know why you're here. Each of you wears a badge of uh, the coalition that you're representing as you come in. And my screen froze. Cool. All right, there we go. They, in turn, welcome you, but they're not the only 3 that are here. There is also Lady Evangeline Hartwell, who seems to be a socialite, talking to a few people. See Captain James Morrison, also surrounded by his own group of people. Then finally, Madame Celeste, a Sprixie, who seems to be flitting just amongst the different groups, talking to each other. This is your battlefield, and here are your story prompts. Do all the citizens appear as prosperous as the counselors and the protocol officer Vex, who is with you? Like, is
One more time.
sure. Do the other citizens here that are in the conservatory, do they look as prosperous as the council members in the protocol for Vex? Basically, are you seeing a class difference, or is this truly how the not the free city states, how the alliance is meant to operate? Do you see a difference?
So I imagine, and I don't know if I would catch this, like my character.
Okay. Well,
But in
here.
my mind, they're nicely dressed, but if you look closely, you see them like shifting like they're like not used to wearing things like this. Like they're not as comfortable in these. Where like the counselors are like wearing nice things that they are clearly used to wearing. So whether that means they're not as well off or they just don't have an excuse to wear these things very often. Who knows? But you can see they're just like are constantly kind of like adjusting and are not quite as comfortable in this clothes.
Okay. Now, what does that say about their prosperity? So
I
remember,
don't
this is
know.
supposed to be a utopian type of society where everyone just like has jobs, everyone's somewhat equal, right? Counselors have overall say, but is there an obvious prosperity differences between the two, between the counselors and other people? I understand they're not very comfortable, so they may not be used to living the
Right,
same
that's why
life.
I'm like, I don't think it says anything about their prosperity. So no, I don't in
Okay.
my scenario that I just presented, no, I don't
Okay.
think there's an obvious
Yeah.
prosperity difference. There's an obvious comfort difference.
Sure. Nope. I love it. All right. Gain a saga point. Who wants this one? How do you recognize that the protocol officer Vex is testing you for something beyond basic manners? And it's only because of Gareth Carr's research is that when you first met her, she held out her hand to be shook, and he knew well enough to avoid it.
I think Vex, the more we're with them, the more we are whoever assigned them to us didn't want us to succeed. Or maybe at the very least, Vex has their own agenda where they don't want us to succeed. They can do their job. They'll bring us around. They'll show us people, but they're not helping. And to the point where we're beginning to think that they're trying to sabotage us.
Okay.
Things like protocol. There's been several times where they told us the wrong ancestry for somebody, and when we saw them, we realized that was and that's not what they are, and messing up things. And so, even in this room, they're kind of pushing us into the middle, and we might not be ready for that, and they're not helping us out.
Interesting. Okay. Love it. Yeah, gain a saga point. And then I am going to go with this one then. So, what cultural custom might be leveraged to appeal to an Auroran's sense of honor or duty?
You so what's the cultural norm, you mean?
So, what's a cultural custom or norm that can be leveraged to appeal to a sense of honor or duty?
Oh, because you can name at least the more layers of their family history that you can invoke, the greater the honor served. I mean, it doesn't usually go beyond like 3 or 4, but if you show that you at least know someone's individual history, that appeals very much to their sense of place in the society.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's really good. Gain a saga point. And then I will take the final one. What detail reveals hidden defensive capabilities beneath the city's golden facade? So, very carefully behind in the nooks and crannies, behind, like in the shadows of large vases, you do see a handful of soldiers, but they're also wearing all white cloaks, as is the norm for there, with just a yellow emblem on their patches here. But they do not hold any weapons about them, and everyone gives them a wide berth. So there are soldiers present, not many, but you can tell that while the counselors may walk within inches of them, they never look at them or, um, yeah, give them any sort of attention at all. While the other citizens give them wide berths. They know that they're there and they stay away from them. Mm. You hear people, you have time as people flit about looking at the different forms of art in sculptures and vases. And there's there's also views into the stars, into the skies. What do you wish to do? Huddle up. What's your game plan?
I think we should probably try to get some information on the council before we just go up to them and start chatting them up. So, like, finding some of these periphery people, and like finding people that each of us think that we could be able to talk to them, a little less pressure, and just try to get some information, know more about people. That makes sense.
That's good.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right. So choose one, or I'll throw one in your guys' face.
Uh,
And is it all three of you pouncing on one person? Or are you going to divide and conquer?
I was thinking divide and conquer.
Absolutely.
yeah, that sounds good. We might be able to help Mr. Crystal because breaking the ice isn't necessarily his strong point unless it's literal ice. Like finding someone we think that he could really bond with and talk to.
I was thinking maybe echo the harmony thing. Like given what harmonizing is my language and yeah, it's on mysticism. Maybe I go try to connect with that one.
Well, they're not here.
Oh, wait, who was? Oh, you're right. You're right.
The one that's not here.
Oh,
Yes.
maybe
We have the three counselors, and then we have Evangeline, Lady Evangeline, Sir Mornson, and Madame Celeste.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll go talk to Dira, the Gortu.
I was saying we've talked to people that aren't on the council first.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
And there's 3 of them.
Yeah, you've got Hartwell, Morrison, and Celeste. Lady, Captain, Madame.
I'll take the lady.
Okay. So you've got kind of a military-looking guy, and then a flighty Sprixie, who of the people here looks the most disheveled.
What do you
The one
think,
that
Libby?
feels good to you, Mr. Crystal?
Maybe Captain Morrison? I mean, I'm kind of security-ish. Maybe that'll appeal to him.
Sure. I'm happy to go talk to Madame Celeste.
Okay. So let's start very simply. So, Captain James Morrison, I believe that is with Mr. Crystal, seems to be talking to a couple of his compatriots. Kind of a booming voice, an elder statesman of sorts at this point, who seems to be a retired military officer. And just kind of talking in general. How do you approach them?
I think I just I just walk up to these men of confidence in the same way. But we're not supposed to shake hands. Yeah, I'll walk right up to the group where the sort of biggest open space is and namaste them and say, gentlemen, thank you for your service, Captain Morrison.
Oh, yes, thank you. Did you serve?
No, I always wanted to, but never had the opportunity. The Iliad are not. I have a very limited access and knowledge of the military, but I understand the role it plays in societies. And I just wanted to let you know we appreciate the keepers of peace.
Oh, well, those days weren't very peaceful. He harumps a little bit, and he looks like kind of he is a Caxian, but with more of a head of a walrus, with the big white mustache, right? Monocle, blue suit, and is just, well, there wasn't much peace during those days. Well, what about your family? Did they fight during the company wars?
Uh, I don't know, sir. My family doesn't talk about those times. I came from a communal society rather than one that had a family have here in Orleos. I'm finding it frankly confusing. But I do appreciate the role that men of distinction play in such a society. I'm learning about it a great deal. I was wondering if perhaps you might be able to explain to me how some of the pieces work. Trying to pry him away from the other two.
Okay. All right, so you're trying to tell me specifically what your goal is here.
Yeah, my goal is to try to maneuver him into feeling like he might mentor someone, an admirer, and then try to pull him away, and then try to ask him, try to pry information about the Council of Seven and how they make decisions.
Okay. So let's first start with you're trying to isolate him first. Okay. Yeah, I know what dice I'm gonna roll. What are you gonna roll?
Um, Boy, it's sort of the opposite of a social jab, right? It's sort of inviting him in. Um, I don't think empathy is really the right one. Would it be closer to debate? I mean, there's not a lot in the skills that are so friendly, right? Um,
I mean, charm, right?
yeah,
Which I know you're trying to avoid that as much as possible. Like I just don't know what other
no,
ways, you
I
know.
am kind
Now,
of I am
what
kind of trying to be a little sneaky. I am kind of trying to be a little sneaky with this, right?
I, and I would
Um,
also be okay with the weave, right? Panache weave. You're trying to build a
yeah,
relationship, right? I'd
yeah.
also be okay with that.
Actually, let's go with relationships there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
11. Yeah, I'll take 11.
get a saga point. Okay. Um, and also move up your tracker one. Um, okay. Yes, he's like, well, yes. Yes, dear boy. I understand those I take pity that you only know your family by one name. So yeah,
Mm.
yes, I'd be more than happy to help you out. All right. Swap over to we want to do I want to save Lady Evangeline Hartwell for last. So that means we go to Madame Celeste. It's a Sprixie artist who seems to be frivolously flitting about. Yes, and he seems to be trying to talk to people very earnestly before she flits away. How do you approach her?
I think I kind of like use my back like my like amorphous form a little bit to kind of like join in some of her like moving in like unique ways or like in like kind of flittery ways and be like, um, Madame, kind of like following her a little bit, trying to get her attention.
Oh, yes. Well, hello there. As she turns to you, you see that she is a little bit of disheveled. Sprixies are basically flying cherubs, more or less, right?
Oh,
Gossamer, uh, she has got gossamer wings, and she's wearing like kind of a bib of some sort. But you see on her sleeves that she has rolled up is that there are bits and parts of paint on them.
on the clothes, not on her arms. Okay.
Yeah, on the clothes. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, well, hello there. Aren't you a strange one?"
Yes, I have not seen many like you either. Um, so I wanted to say hello. Um, I see I've heard you're a bit of an artist and I see there's some paint. Um, and I would love to know more about like what kind of art there is around here, what kind of culture that I need to be aware of.
Why you
Ultimately, I'm trying to learn a little more because I know that Star Song is the culture person. So that's my
perfect.
purpose in this scene.
Celeste tugs at your sleeve and goes like, "Perfect. You're the perfect person I need to do this for me. Here's one of my latest installments." And she points to a painting. It looks as though the paint is still drying on there. I need for you to give me a basically an art appreciation check of some sort. Probably lore is what I would
Okay.
guess. But if you've got something else you can think of,
Lower cultures sound or lower panache sounds perfect to me. That's in
okay.
like a cultures that seem to make sense.
Yes, 100%. You got to beat a nine, nine or better. Okay.
Success.
All right.
And I get a side point, yes?
Yep. And move your tracker up one,
Ah, yes.
the pink tracker that we're
Thank you.
trying out for the
Yep.
playtesting. Okay. Perfect. You look at the art and you're like, oh, I mean, you're not an expert, right? But you know enough that this is a very talented, textured painting. And as you look deeper at it, you are starting to pick up a little bit of the symbology within there.
Mhm.
You can't decipher all of it. Okay. There is subtle political commentary. Even though it's bright colors, seemingly innocuous scenes, there is a darkness behind here. And in this piece of art, you recognize that the clouds that are above represent an upper hidden class that are raining down on others. I guess basically it would lead to like others not getting sustenance. Okay. But you don't think it's from on this planet, you think from all other planets.
Yeah. Like I think that people here feel like they're not getting enough from like the overall planetary
You know,
higher up.
you're getting the feeling that this planet has an abundance.
Got it. They're not
And
sharing. Got it.
yep. And she was like, "What do you think?" All right, Gareth Carr. You slide over towards Lady Evangeline Hartwell. She is internal with what appears to be a fan in her hand, but it's actually just her hand that she's using. As there is a gaggle of people around her, she seems to be someone of great importance. How do you approach?
Um, I think that I would. Can I get a clue for what, um, like the current topic of conversation is? Like, what are they buzzing about right now? As I like sort of approach.
Sure. They're talking about the situation with refugees.
Perfect. Um, I'm. I actually kind of want to do a just straight off the top before as I just sort of observe this. I want to check the lady, um, and see as they talk about this where she's lying, what side she's on, if she's pro refugee or against refugees.
Sure.
Making like a panache inquiry check.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me. Now, this is her. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you start to approach to get closer, just kind of hear what they're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do your check. Oh no! Shoot. Okay. Well, she's going to attempt this anyway.
Okay.
Whoa, that was not supposed to happen. Um. Well, here. Let me. As you get approaching, you are judging her. Her head snaps towards your direction, and she goes like, "Oh, and what does the coalition, dressed in your funny little ways, looking for?" She is out for blood. Okay, she is trying to discredit
Okay.
you right now. Yeah, but you beat her to the punch. you, um, as you, she's trying to lash at you. You're trying to figure out where she's standing on this. And you see that she has tremendous socialite power. Okay. She has sway. But you also get the feeling with her being so defensive or offensive with you walking up as a stranger representing the coalition coming in is that he is doing a performative distancing from you.
Okay.
Is that You don't think that even though she's out for blood, trying to cut you down by calling you a strange little man, which
Yeah.
you are able to brush off very easily as you walk forward. You can show me what that looks like here.
Hmm.
Um, but it's very performative. She's trying to make these other people think around her that she doesn't want you here.
Perfect.
In fact,
Uh,
she takes a little bit of social damage for how easily you bury her as you walk up.
um, in this big wide universe that we exist in, I would say that beauty certainly is in the eyes of the beholder, not particularly relative. But I welcome your opinion on me and everyone else.
The rest of the group kind of like, oh, and they just kind of like go a little quiet, and she's like, huh, obviously miffed that she couldn't just deflect you away. And she was like, well, fine, you're over here. Huh. Welcome, welcome to to the city of Starlight.
I'm not sure welcome is the word I would use. A very tense situation.
Oh, you mean with the bugs that are just trying to get into our city?
I've known plenty of rotting trees that survive with bugs. I'll do a social jabs at
Holy
her.
shit. Okay.
I want to take her down.
Okay. All right. Come at me, bro.
All right.
Okay, so I get a tension point. Okay. I guess I should ask, did you want to keep anything before I rolled?
Yeah, what I really don't want to necessarily cause any damage because I think she's probably secretly on our side, but I wanted to do this sort of last bit of facade here to um, show that I'm not. I want to try to keep up the illusion that we're not friends and we're not going to be friends.
Okay.
So that's the thing that people see. So I don't actually want to cause her damage,
Okay.
but I want to put up a good fight.
Okay. So
So I'll
what do you
just
think?
take the 10.
Take the 10. All right. So I got a 10, luckily, so I don't take any more damage from it. You have one upped her. Okay. She has lessened a little bit. You see a couple of her little socialite friends just go like, oh, and like walk off to go mingle with some other group of people. And she was like, huh, yes, a rotten tree. Don't I think our city's a little bit better than that, and I think my family would disagree. And she steps forward and to shake your hand.
Obviously, well, afterward, it's when you meet someone. I'm going to say we're still in the meeting phase,
Oh yeah.
and I'm
Oh
going
yeah.
to put my hands together and bow slightly.
Okay. You see her start to like red run up the side of her face as she's getting angry, and she's losing more face the longer this conversation goes for right now. All right, Mr. Crystal, you have lured the captain away, assumably towards a white van somewhere. As you were talking, um, he was like, "Yes. Well, I'm sorry that you only have one name generation, but well, yes. How can I help you? Are you one of these refugees?
No, no, but I must admit to you, sir, out of the need for, I, I am sympathetic to their plight. My people lived for a very long time in the home planet, and to be displaced like they are must be devastating, not once, but twice. So I wonder, what if you could help me understand what the thoughts of the council are, and are the great council members, Ceres and Dyra and Star Song. How do they see this?
Well, I'm not one to know all of the council members, but I can tell you a little bit what I'm looking for. I give me a basically see if you can do like a lore or a just to get them to talk, right? Depending how well you
Hmm,
do, that's how many people I'll tell you about. I'm gonna tell you at least one person. Okay.
okay.
You can do like a command, a charm, or you can do another weave check if you want to.
Yeah, it's I think I think I want to go toward more like a debate style, like trying to lure him into sort of volunteering information, right? That
Okay.
it's sort of drawing him in, drawing him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a 10. Do you want to
Um,
spend if you spend a saga point, you'll get all three.
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Okay. And
absolutely.
bump your track up by one, which I think
Well,
you're the only
yeah,
one that's really moving up that track right now.
yeah, I'm at 3, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Oh, Gareth's got two? Great. Okay. And I think Ludwig has just got one. Okay. Um okay. So the captain is very sympathetic to your cause, and like uh he is very sympathetic to the refugees. Because as a he was actually um his family was made refugees from one of the wars that he fought in. And so he's very
Oh,
sympathetic to the cause and wants to bring them in, but he's not on the council. He doesn't have the full say on it. But he does say, is like, well, if you're trying to convince them, you are in a den of vipers at this particular meeting, anyway. Mm. Sterling uh, only thinks about the trade. If there's no trade agreements that can be made with the refugees, then he doesn't see there's a point to it. Cirrus appears to be in the middle, but he's more interested in to see whether there's any skills that can benefit the research. Now, Dyra, that is going to be a tough one to crack. She is opposed to the refugees until after proper screening measures, but for what she's proposing, that'll be well after the planet explodes. All right. Ludwika. We had just ended where the madam had asked you, what do you think of the painting?
Wow, there's so much not only visual depth with the texture and the beautiful art, but also I feel like I'm getting a deeper meaning coming out of this. Like maybe there's much more to this picture than meets the eye.
Well, I think that's true for all art, dearie.
I think you're right. That's what makes good art.
All right. Well, looks like you might be one to be shy. Would you like to meet some people? Maybe some like-minded people?
Absolutely. That would be a delight.
Okay. She starts to take you over to another group of people that are just off to the side. They don't have anything really to
Mhm.
do with the council members. Do you just go with her and just hang out, or?
Yeah, I think I'd go see what the general population, well, maybe not the general, it's her little group. It could be a preaching to the choir kind of situation.
Yeah.
But
Huh?
I'll see what when she says there are like-minded individuals, what are they saying?
Well, they're talking about, the aid that Starlight could give if it wasn't fully concentrated just in the city and for this planet. The rest of the planet is just overgrown with jungle, right? It's more feral kind of creatures that are out there. Very dangerous planet, actually. But in this one spot, it is a utopia that they've made it. They've got plenty of supplies, they've got plenty of everything else. And they're talking about how um, that they could do more and they should do more, and that it's incumbent upon the counselors to make that sort of decision. And if they won't, then maybe someone should make it for the counselors.
Who would make a decision like that for the counselors?
That's a great question. I am going to do this. I'm going off track just a little bit. Um, yeah, I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna spend one, two. I'm gonna hit you with a 18 for a mysticism barrel roll.
Okay, so I can either do a peril to just defend, or I can do a riposte to
Yeah,
attack
in
back.
this case, you can do a riposte. Most of the time, because it's a person doing this, if this was just like a general area of effect or an environment effect, it would just be a straight parallel. Now, taking a look at
Sure.
your character, how you could fight back. Mysticism duel, I'd be
Sure.
fine with.
But I
Um,
don't have to. I can still just defend.
yeah, you can choose just to do apparel.
I'm just gonna do a peril.
Okay.
But you're doing an
Oh,
18
oh,
on
oh,
me.
wow.
I have the points to spend, so I could break even. It'd be all my saga points, but I think I should.
You
You
don't
see
have to
this?
spend all of them. You can just take some vitality. You can take 2 points of damage if you want,
I know,
and just spend
yeah,
one.
it's not that much. So yeah, I'll spend one saga point and take 2 points.
Okay. You get like from the group that it seems to be um, being spearheaded by Madam uh, of this overwhelming sense of community into joining, which in your very fiber as a centillion feels like the right thing to do, to join within this collective mind
Mhm.
for a singular cause. But you
Literally
like,
what my is.
what's that?
Being is literally a collection of
Yeah.
one thing or like a bunch into one.
You manage to stagger backwards. You take 2 points of damage. You stagger backwards as you manage to fight off resistance. And you're just like, huh, huh, huh. As you see, they're just trying to recruit you into their ranks. And finally, Gareth Carr. She is getting more red the longer that you are near her. You fear she is going to collapse from the social nearness of you, or something else.
I want to give her an out.
Okay.
I'm still under the impression that this is a bit of a show, right? That her anti-refugee stance. Yes.
Yes, you
Okay. So I want
are.
to make sure that I was following that
Yeah.
correctly. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yep. Yeah. You picked up on it. Yep.
Okay. Uh, so I want to just like a charm panache as a way for me to sort of give myself an out and also not And let her save a little bit of face too at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll give you a 9 base. Well, yeah, you're just trying to make amends, right? You're just trying to keep her from spiraling. So yeah, go ahead and make your check.
Yeah, because I still want people to think that we're enemies right now, but I also don't want to make it. I don't want to destroy her either because that's not helpful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, 11.
Okay.
That's fine.
If you spend a saga point, I will allow you to give her a secret encoded message.
Ooh, absolutely, I will. Um, what do I think our timeline is for this time we're here? Like, do I think this is like a weekend thing? We got to wrap it up and get people on board. Like, how long do the refugees have?
Well, they're gonna do a vote probably in like 2 days.
All right, then I want to set up a meeting that we can have with her in private where nobody knows, and we can discuss things. So, like, do we have a hotel?
Yes, you guys are staying at the embassy, I believe. Yes, at the Starlight Embassy.
Yes. Um, I think that's a safe enough spot. Sure. Um, room 1842,
Sure.
10 p.m., whatever, something like that, right?
Okay. Perfect. As you give her an out, as she was like, "Oh, well, very well, the pleasure was all mine." As she turns, and it's very important that she's the one that walks away from you, not the other way around, with the society, managed to make everything work. Her plummeting social status has stopped as you manage to, yeah, encode the message to be able to get to her. Perfect. All right. So that is one scene. That's the GM scene. Okay. Now there's more stuff to do, obviously. You haven't even talked to the council members. It is 9 o'clock. What I propose is to stop here, um, talk about what's happening and for the play testing and all that. Does that sound okay? Otherwise, I think if we push through, we'll probably play for another hour to finish the scene. So,
I'm okay stopping here.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what we'll do is that we'll stop here, and this will be a player scene next if you want it. So you can fast forward time, like go to the meeting, um, use bond, use any bonds that you might want to use and all that stuff. So, okay. So this is, like I said, the first part of Will's adventure. Right now, I'm having a blast. I have um, only added one little thing that I think I might add to the adventure because it was really interesting. I had an opportunity to I got up to 5 tension points. So I had an opportunity to blow the tension table, but I kept them. I wanted to get one more, so I had an extra one in case I needed to do something fancy. So I didn't. So here's what we were play testing. So we're gonna ask these questions first. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, the big one is the story tracker. So we went back to gaining saga points on rolling a 6. Let's just start with that. Getting saga points on a 6. Tell me your feelings about it.
It was hard getting saga points last time, and it felt good to be like, oh, my roll gave me a saga point.
Uh,
I liked how if we roll a shitty roll and have a bunch of ones, that we got saga points for it. You know, it was like that balance, right? A little bit. That
Mhm.
always felt good. I can get used to sixes being saga points, but I always thought that was kind of cute. That if you roll like a ton of ones, well, at least you got a bunch of saga points now to deal with next time.
Yeah,
You know,
I
so
I still like that too. If I changed it back for the next time, would that totally mess you guys up though?
long no, probably not. I still had to think about it every time, like six saga, six
Yeah,
saga. So I remember which one was which, but only because we did it the other way before. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
that's true. And I
that's it.
I do like it the other way around for Honorbound. Like if you fail and you get the ones, great. Then you get saga points. Six succeeding, I get tension points. But yeah. Aaron, did you have a feeling one way or the other? Did you like getting the saga points based on a die roll? Was really what we
Yeah,
asked.
I was comfortable with that. I mean, I do like the ability to earn them through contributions to setting the scene, and that I think that's absolutely stick with that. I think that's really essential to sort of the core of the game and what brings a lot of fun out of it. Like that, yeah, let's have fun with it, right? Let's tell great
Yeah.
stories together, and that helps kind of keep it rolling and get you thinking. And I also like it with the die because lots of saga points mean like lots of crazy rolls are going to go down,
Yep.
right? Where we've got a bunch of points and you've got a bunch of points and everyone's like getting these crazy high scores. But but you also don't just get them and spend them right away, right? Because you might really need them. So it doesn't feel like it's over. Like at no point was I like, oh, what am I going to do with all? What am I going to do with all this spare change, right? Like, what am I going to do
Right.
with all these saga points? Oh no, they're wasted. So I kind of like a lot more saga points are coming through, and I think it's good to have both approaches. The getting them for ones. What I liked about that is, and what I like about the system is that failing the roll doesn't mean the monster bit you in half, right? I mean, it's more about the narrative experience and what's going on. And yeah, you might die if you roll bad at the wrong time. But a one just meant, hey, you know what? We're gonna have more fun next time with this. So I kind of like the fail of a one sort of driving the action next time. So I see why the six though. Yeah, I still don't know about the Untold Story Tracker going up with die rolls. I see why. I was thinking we'd be bumping those up a lot faster. So I maybe six to trigger is a good point.
Yeah. Well, remember, we've only done one scene, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't even a full scene that we did. That was just, and I
Yeah.
did force rolls. I did force rolls. I did one. I think I felt like I forced one extra roll to each one of you because I don't think you needed to roll on certain things there. But I wanted to see how the system handled the stress test of it. Because I think the role playing was really good and I was having fun with that. And just like, you don't have to roll for everything. You really don't. I felt like Mr. Crystal in particular, I don't think you really needed, it's like to roll that second time for like, you already got the guy's confidence. He could have easily like, yeah, this person thinks this, and this, you know? But I guess I did like the idea of rolling to get all three of them instead of just one of them. I think that was fine. Gareth Carr just going first and destroying that the social life right away was I love that. That was great. Because I mean it was like she attacked you first, like that, well no, she didn't. You got her. But she tried to. No, you weren't attacking her. She tried to. You just outrolled her. Period.
You try to like preemptively put me in
Yeah.
my place, but I didn't let it happen.
Yeah, you did not. Which was amazing. And then the obvious, I don't know if it's so obvious or it felt so obvious, but the little sidetrack with the artist with the is interesting to me. I don't know, like I feel like I would probably build that part out in the adventure, but it's has nothing to do with the adventure, right? It's just it's I'm just creating this whole rebellion thing that is like, no, they just want someone on the council, man. That's really what they want. But
Relevant though, if we're trying to persuade the council of something to be like, you literally might have like people like kicking you out of here if you don't listen to the people. So it is still relevant.
yeah. Oh, 100%. And just to let you guys know is that um you guys got a lot of good information. And by befriending each one of those, or at least understanding them, it does count towards your end roll, which that's part that I like about this adventure. All right. So rolling for saga points, good. Change it to 1 instead of 6. Okay. That right? Did I read that right from both Eric and Aaron?
I think so. I think it makes, but it still kind of makes sense to have untold story on 6s because you're doing really good. You're rolling 6s, but it's still ticking up the untold
Yeah.
story. And I think us remembering 6s untold story, 1's saga points, that should be okay for us to be able to remember. For a player to know,
Yeah.
right? To be able to build those up. That makes sense, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. We'll play test that for the next part because this is all just going to be a lot of very little fighting. If there is going to be fighting, it's because we did something wrong, or else I decided to introduce like in the twist, go like, you know what? No, we need to fight guards. We got to fight an assassin, or like if this whole rebellion thing takes off and now you're doing this other thing, like, nah, maybe.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I failed a roll and I'm now part of the rebellion instead of
Yes.
doing what I'm here for.
Yeah, I was going to give you the recruited condition, which I wasn't quite sure what to do with it yet, but I was like, you're going to be like a sleeper spy for them. Um,
I mean, I might make her a contact at some point. Or a
yeah,
bond.
I came really close to being like, okay, maybe you're a bond for them and try and figure that out. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so rolling for saga points, definitely revert to that and still have some things you can do to gain them as well. Okay. Yeah, because I agree. That's what we're missing. Lots of saga points to do lots of cool things. That's what we
Yeah.
always want, right?
It's nice to have wiggle room with like, oh, like I don't have to hoard my saga points because they're not coming very often, but to be like, oh, I can spend one on a roll and it's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, perfect. So the Untold Story tracker moving up. Now, before what I had it at, what which wasn't really working. It was and it wasn't, where you guys decided when to do your Untold Story into the storyline, right? Most of the time, I felt anyway, most of the time I had to crowbar in and nudge you guys, being like, hey, do you think this would be a good place to put in your untold story? Or, you know what? I think this has to be your untold story. So that's what I felt like I was doing a lot of, even though it was supposed to be your guys' total choice, right? Now that we have this tracker, now it's just going to occur when it hits 6, and you got to take whatever's happening and put it into the untold story. I want to see how it turns out. Because if it doesn't work, fine, let's go back to the other way. But what are your thoughts on how do you want the untold stories to work for you guys? Because one thing that I will say that I loved was when we play tested the idea of the in media res adventure, where like the whole adventure can just be 2 scenes where everyone did their untold story up front. So everyone tied their stakes into what was going to happen in the adventure up front was awesome. You know, you guys wrote most of the adventure. Now, if you guys were to do that with this adventure, like if I give you all this background about the refugees and all that stuff, and then said, now tie your untold story with it too, would that have been cool? Or I feel like that would be shoehorning in your untold story into something that you may not want to deal with refugees. But you could also change it like, well, no, I have a contact in the Starlight City. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, we can do that. Um, tell me what you think. This is a big one.
I love the challenge of an untold story that you don't think it's going to fit because like if we knew where our untold story was going, it wouldn't be fun either. You know what I mean? Like it was super obvious, and we got to say like, and now we find out all these plot points that I decided were going to happen. I think the only way it works is when we're surprised or we have to come up with something, and that's the kind of the beautiful part about all of us contributing something at that point. Like, because we get to like brainstorm and think about it.
Yeah.
I felt I don't Now I'm trying to think. Like playing these characters,
Yeah.
I made it all the way like through one whole untold story.
Yep.
Anybody else get close?
Aaron's close.
Okay.
It is an untold story. Ludwika hasn't been fully formed out in there, but I have something that I'm going to spring on Ludwika
Oh,
that we'll
great.
see. We'll see if you want it or not.
I knew I'm 2 away, I think, but still, that is more than
Yeah.
one adventure.
So for most of what we've been playing, like, were you was I hogging untold stories, or were you throwing at me too fast? Like, or was it a combination? Like, I don't remember now. Like, in a good way, as far as like collaborative storytelling is concerned, like whose idea it was to make it whose untold story win. I
Yeah.
honestly don't remember, but I know that I did a bunch of mine.
I think there was some easier hooks, but I want to hear from what the players like Rachel, Aaron, Eric, like you also helped out with the untold stories. How did it feel to you guys, and how do you want your untold stories to be presented? You know, because Eric, I think you're right. I think it's a little bit of A, a little bit of B, because your character was the only one that died. So then we're like, okay, we should do another one right now. You
Sure,
know,
sure.
I like the idea of it, like, you can see it coming at some point. Like, you kinda like, as far as using the tracker, like, I think it's interesting to kinda, like, see it getting up there and be like, "Oh, something coming up is gonna be related to my story," and even kind of like, I like it that I'm not gonna know super far in advance. Like Eric said, like, it is part of the fun to, like, have to figure out how it's connected, but also to, like, see it coming enough that you can kinda be like, wheels turning a little bit. Um, so 'cause I know it can be I'm not always a person who can think fast on my feet, so, and I think that's why it was hard for me, or it is in general hard for me to just, like, throw it in randomly without being told, like, "Okay, how's it fit?"
yeah,
Um, so to have it I think this tracker for me is a good somewhere in between, like, I can kinda see it coming, but I don't have to be, like, told to do it. Like, it's a good cue for me to do it without the oracle having to be like, "And now do your untold story, please." Like,
Well, and yeah, well, along with that, the cognitive load sometimes is hard, right? Like you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you're trying to think about what it looks like and what you're going to do next, and it then be like, oh, hey, let's also do my untold story right now because that's
yeah,
like a really this is perfect. Like, no, nah, brain machine's too small for that.
yeah,
But I do, yeah, same as Rachel. Like to know that I'm halfway there, I can start being on the lookout for things that might tie in. Well, what has occurred to me is as I've like, okay, well, hey, there's this Amelia over here who's this socialite. Like maybe that's a lead, and other stuff that's coming up that I've been thinking about. Like if I'm at 4 and I'm like, you know what? No, let's wait till 6. Let's go for it, right? Like I think that would be a nice, and I think you'd be open to that, right? That we're only at 4, but hey, there's now this connection. It's right there in front of me. It's building, but let's not wait because it's not going to get any better than right now.
yeah.
So I like it sort of as at 6 it's happening, but if you can come up with something cool before that, let's just get it done. Because you would have told me like, oh, there's going to be this stuff with this planet or moon sort of erupting is going to be unlivable, and there's all like I was just like, well, I'm not seeing anything. So I do like that it gives some space to get into the adventure some
Okay.
before it might come. Because otherwise, if it was obvious early on, I might be going too soon, right? Picking on not enough information. So I like it. It'll happen by 6, but sooner would be good. And the option to go sooner would be good.
Okay. Tracker with option. So I'll have to think about that option. Because what I was thinking, like, what if you hit 6, and then if you don't do it at 6, you can do it anytime after 6. But the thing is, the earlier you do it, that's when you get your unity point, right? And you guys want your unity points because they're going to be hard to get again. Um, but yeah, I like the idea though, because like you said, like if you're at a 4 and you're like, no, this is the story I want to tell. I don't want to tell you that you can't tell it, you know? So I wonder if there's like a quote unquote punishment
What
for
if you
telling it early, or if you tell it at 6, you get an experience point. If you wait till 6, a reward instead of a punishment for going early.
what if you just don't get the unity point until you still get 6? Like it makes sense
Oh,
story wise to take it at 4, but you don't get the unity point yet. And then when you do hit 6 though, you'll get the unity point and start over.
yeah, that seems easy.
Maybe.
Huh.
Well, what is the unity point for?
The
In
biggest
that sense,
thing.
like, no, I mean, I know how they're used, but I mean, like,
Oh,
is the unity point an indicator that something has turned in the story narratively for us as a group, or is it just it's earned when it's earned, and we want to make sure there's a spot for them? Like, I would. It doesn't. You don't get it until, well, maybe if you take it after 6, you don't get the unity point, right? 6 or sooner, you get the unity point, and then once it comes to be 6, are you contributing to this part of the story, or is this just something, right? Like, if it's time to be creative, you're not 5, 6 is, it's time, man. Put it in here. Let's get this story for us together. Okay, there's your unity point.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, okay, maybe you don't want to pressure creativity. I get that
Yeah.
too, though.
Right.
I,
I think that's what I was thinking too, with like the idea of you only get the unity point. Like I can see telling it earlier you get the unity point, but saying like 6 is the only time where you get something special if you do it at 6. But I'm like, but what if the perfect story opportunity does present itself at 4?
yeah.
Like I don't want to not tell the story just because I'm waiting for an experience point.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Mm.
I agree. Both sides seem pretty reasonable, but to answer Aaron's metaphysical question is this is, I thought about this a lot. The reason that you get the unity point is that you are bonding with the universe. You're weaving these stories, right? That's why I originally had, like, when you do a bond, you get a unity point too, which I've taken that out because I was just didn't really need that. But like, yeah, telling the bigger story, like weaving the whole universe together, right? That's
Mhm.
the in my mind, that's what unity points are doing, right? So that's why you take turns and tell the whole story together, you know. And it does. It should affect at least your character in some way, right? I know, like with Gareth Carr is quite a big change, I think, for what I'm doing with Ludwika coming up. If if Rachel wants to go this direction, it is going to be a drastic update to the untold story. And I think Mr. Crystal's on a really nice path, right? I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know what he's going to choose once he finally gets there, you know. like,
Mhm.
um, so that's what I'm thinking metaphysically about the unity point. So, okay, we didn't really get to it. The tracker seems like a good idea. Um, just whether are there punishments or rewards for hitting it on 6? Can you do it before 6? Can you do it after 6? Um, okay, here's an easy one, is that if you hit 6 and you don't have the idea yet, that's fine, but your tracker stops at 6, and then the unity point doesn't hit until you tell your story, right? Because the secondary thing is moving the campaign story forward only happens when one of you hits your campaign story a second time, right?
Oh, I see.
What's interesting
So,
here is, what if I wait till all 3 of you hit it a second time? But I don't want people to be going like, "Oh, well, let's just all tell it right away at the beginning." Right. I don't think that quite works either.
But that's one model for it, right? I mean, if this is going to go on a lot, there's going to be half a dozen scenes to this particular arc, then
Yeah.
you're all going to get there eventually, right? And
Yeah.
so if everyone's like, oh, there's this immigration thing and there's this planet thing and there's society and like each of us has this great connection, like let's do it from minute one. I mean, it's fun, right? It is interesting to think, what if everybody in the group? It's easy for us because there's only 3 of us. Imagine there were 5 of us.
Yeah.
That could actually that could take a long time if you
Yeah.
required everybody.
Yeah. That's true.
But I do like the idea that like once you get to 6, like there's an expectation. It's not punished and not rewarded, but there's the expectation at 6. But I like it that you're not progressing until you get to the next, until you have it happen. That in itself is the punishment, right? Because the campaign's not moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do that. Tracker good with option. Get the twist afterwards. But now we got to figure out if you trigger it early. All right. So that's something for me to hammer out for sure. Okay. Now the other untold story. Oh, okay. We haven't earned any Unity points to do any re-rolling. The only other thing that I think we did was the experience points in the gear. Those are 2 new systems. The experience points just became cheaper to buy things. That's all it is. Okay. And experience points is you participated in or you overcame a oracle scene. Okay. And there's 4 scenes in this adventure. You're only halfway through the first one, really. I think when they're more talky like this, they're just going to be longer, right? Because it's fun, and I think we're really getting into our groove when we do these more, right? So I might cut out one scene to finish up the adventure next time we get together. But so experience points, and so I think Rachel was really the only one that bought anything for experience points, right? Or no, Aaron did.
Yeah, I picked up some resistance points.
Yeah. Did you pick up 2? 1, 2. Wow. Okay. Does that feel good? Does that feel like a good use of your experience points?
It sort of feels like buying 1 resistance point going from 0 to 1 is a pretty big deal. It feels like they should get more expensive somehow. I don't know what the rest of you think. Because if it's just 5 per, I could have just sunk like, bought 2 more resistance points in mysticism, and now I'm at a mysticism 4 with a resistance of resistance. Holy crap! Right. So
Hold on. Your audio keeps going out. Is that just me?
It's happening here too.
To me too.
Yeah, it might be that I just don't have a great connection, a lot of bandwidth. Yeah, it feels like they should get more expensive the further you go. Yeah, I don't know what the rest of you think about that. It feels like resistance points, for example, if you bought a bunch of them, could make you really, really, really tough for not much. But on the other hand, maybe that's okay too. What do you think?
I think that's okay. I brought the experience points down quite a bit, but this is the only one that I don't know how it's gonna go, right? Because we just introduced it. I feel like 5 is too low, but at the same time, I also want them to be available. If your group really, really needs them, you know, you're just like, because I don't want to deal with armor at all. Like, not if I can really help it. Um,
What if it was just it's 5 to get the first one, and then it's +1 to get the second one, and it's +2 to get another
Yeah.
one to it. You know what I mean? It's still not prohibitively expensive, but at least it's a little bit harder, you know.
Yeah.
And so even if I had my resistance of 4, if I wanted to get 1 more point, it would be 9 points for me to be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably the easiest way to deal with it. But
Yeah, there's a lot of different systems that we've worked on. Like, oh, you guys, I was gonna say, well, like in Party First, Aaron knows. Like in Party First, we came up with a whole way to do it that was pretty reasonable. I don't know if the system needs it, but I think it's interesting. I'll take a look at it. What about buying stuff? You guys have never had gone into gear before, and I'm in the process of like I'm totally gonna do an adventure where Aaron knows I made this for a D&D game a long time ago. I want to bring back the bazaar where it's a place you can go to and you can find anything you want there to buy. But that also means there's high potential of bad things happening or good things, whatever. Did it make sense whether you spent jewels or you could do a conflict to get it? Or was it weird?
Oh, I thought it was Jules and a conflict. Like you had the
Oh,
money, but if you can't sort of like pass the social test, they won't even let you buy. And if they do, then you can buy. So that's how I was interpreting. So I
gotcha.
may misread that, but
That's my fault. Yeah, the free city states you can only buy it with jewels. In the alliance and Utopia, you can only get it by bartering with conflicts.
yeah, I was like, no, that seems fine. Like you got money, but who cares, right? Yeah.
Had just double dip it, and you know what? Maybe there's gonna be some places like that are like super elite. Okay, all right. Sounds like we're good on that then.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like we're getting pretty late here. I totally appreciate you guys doing the playtesting today. Um, I will just throw this out there for one last thing, as I always try and do. Did you get the fun out of it with the time that you put into it? How did that go for today? Are we moving in the right direction?
for all the combat that we've been like playtesting, and then to have like the opposite,
Yeah.
and not to mention that we haven't played these characters like in a long time, and like just getting to that flow again. Yes, it was fun. Absolutely, it was fun, but it took a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, wrapping your brain around it. I think like anytime I switch between characters, anyway, it's going to do that. And now we're switching between like we have rules changes and different themed sessions, and my dog has the hot snakes, like a bunch of different things going on. But we got there.
Oh no. No hot snake dogs. That's no good.
She's okay. She's better now.
Hmm.
She has not had that for 48 hours since she
It's
got
true.
put on.
That's
It's true.
good. That's
His
good.
weekend has included that.
Mm. All right. So then, yeah, next week we're just gonna continue on this adventure. I'm really enjoying it. It's just a nice, different thing to go into. I think I probably will cut out one part of it. Maybe I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how fast I go. But awesome. Thanks again so much. And yeah, night everybody.
Bye.